it's Tessa, and today we are going to chat a little bit about all the tattoos that I have and what they kind of mean to me. I am a pretty big fan of tattoos. I love to get tattoos. Each one means something different, whether it's something important or something just goofy and silly. My first tattoo ever was actually, you can't see it anymore, but it was right here on my forearm. And it was when I had just turned 18, I think. I was 18 years old. It was in pink ink, which anyone who knows about tattoos, pink ink doesn't hold very well. After a while, it just kind of fades away, which is what happened to mine. It's kind of embarrassing. It said juicy, and yeah, it was a hot pink tattoo that said juicy right here on my forearm. And me and like 10 other friends when we were younger, we all got them. I was working in a nightclub in Charlotte, and our little group of girls, we called ourselves like the Juicy Girls, and it was, oh god, it's so silly. But yeah, got that tattoo. Thank God that's not on me anymore. Um, After that, I have a diamond and a dagger tattoo, which my ex-husband and I actually both got those tattoos, and I like having it still because that was a those are good memories like to look back on. I always think like every relationship, every friendship, like whatever happens, they help like transform you into the person that you need to be for whatever's next in life. So I look back on all that with good memories. Then that quickly no, after that I think was I've got this tattoo here which says what's inside her never dies. And this was before my diamond tattoo, and I got this because it's right underneath my scar on my collarbone, and I've got 7 screws and a titanium rod in my collarbone. The reason that I got that was because God, I must have been a year, maybe 2 into wrestling, and I remember I went to Los Angeles for the first time, and it was my Lucha Underground tryout, and I was wrestling one of the girls over there for a dark match for my tryout match. Paul London was our agent. I remember we had this match planned out. I remember being so nervous. I'm like, this is my first time in California. Like, I think I had just started getting my flights paid for on the independent circuit, and I was like, God, I hope people know who I am. I pray like that I get like some kind of reaction. I remember like right before I went out and at Lucha Underground, there was like that long staircase, and like, God, I hope when I'm standing at the top of those stairs, like people just like they at least know who I am. So going out, and I remember standing there, and the crowd knew who I was. Like they were cheering for me, chanting for me, and it just blew my mind that like this is my first time on the West Coast, my first time like really traveling for wrestling, and these people know who I am. That was freaking cool. In the match, I remember we locked up, and things did not go as planned. I remember getting pulled down, and I remember my collarbone just feeling like weird. I thought my shoulder was out of place. And I remember I stood up to circle again, and I looked over at the producer and I shook my head no. And I remember locking up again, and I said, put me in a hold. I need to pop my shoulder back into place. And I was able to finish the match all the way through, but there were some things that had occurred, and what ended up happening was my collarbone was split, and then this outer piece went down and into my chest 3 centimeters. So it was basically on top of each other, and it had to be pulled apart, reattached, and there's a screw going through it, and then 3 screws on each side. And the doctors had said that I could get it taken out, like after it had all healed, but dude, this thing's stronger than ever now. It really only bothers me like in the cold weather sometimes. Um, but I remember after that match, Brian Cage and my boyfriend Ricochet at the time, they both like ran down to Gorilla and like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I remember the girl that I was wrestling was like, "Your girlfriend's been wrestling for 2 years. She should know how to protect herself." And at that moment in time, like my head, I'm just like, something's wrong. I know my body. I want to go to the hospital. And Melissa Santos, Taya Valkyrie, they helped me. They helped me cut off my gear. They helped me get to the hospital. They helped take care of me. And I remember at that hospital, they were like, I waited in the waiting room for about 2.5 hours. And then I, uh, this hospital was, it was a little bit sketchy, but they were like, yeah, it's fractured, it's gonna have to heal on itself. And I remember being like, no, screw you, to the nurse. Like, I was so mad because I'm in pain, and like, I know my body, and I know that I know I'm hurting. And I remember I flew back home to Charlotte, North Carolina, went to my family surgeon, and they were like, you need surgery tomorrow, or you are not gonna raise your arm again. And that very next day, it was a Friday, I went back into surgery, or I went into surgery, sorry. And yeah, I was out for about, shoot, 6 months or something. I remember the day after my surgery, like my boyfriend had broke up with me like for the first time, and I was on like painkillers. My mom said that I was only eating applesauce. I got down to like 110 pounds. Like, it was just like a really mentally tough time, and my first serious injury in wrestling. So, long story short, all of that goes into what's inside her never dies. I got that tattoo because, like, whether it's injury, whether it's a breakup, whether it's whatever the thing is, I think that if you can change your mindset, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So that tattoo is a little reminder for me right underneath my scar, and it's keloided pretty well. So like, I mean, it sticks out to me every time I see it. At first, I was like ashamed because I thought it was so ugly, but now it's like a little like reminder of strength to me. Going on, I have this sleeve that all kind of goes together. It's a lion and a lamb, a dove, and then I've got a cross, and I've got a hill and a valley. And this is all just kind of a story of strength. It's a reminder that, like, hey, no matter what you go through, God, He's bigger than your highest highs. He's bigger than your lowest lows. And I've had some pretty low lows, but I've also had some pretty high highs. So it's kind of like a reminder to me that, like, hey, whether I'm winning a world championship, like, keep that ego in check. Whether people think that you're the best in the world, keep that ego in check. But also, like, when you're going through something like really shitty and it seems like the entire world is against you, like, you're gonna get through it. It's gonna be all right. It might not seem like it when you're actually going through it, and it's easier said than done. But there is, I like to say, a light at the end of that tunnel. I also have a thigh tattoo, and I had always wanted a thigh tattoo because I saw this one fitness influencer. Like, I love her body's just like perfect in my opinion. Does CrossFit, and she had a thigh tattoo, and I loved how it looked. And I kept holding off. Like, I might have an idea, but I'll like hold off until I find like something that really speaks to me. So I remember when I was going through a really tough time back in 2020, and I stepped away from wrestling for a while. My mom, she gifted me a Dr. Seuss book, and it's Oh, the Places You'll Go. And I remember, like, why is my mom giving me a Dr. Seuss book? And my mom's always got like some kind of like meaning behind it. And I opened it, and she wrote this whole letter to me. And like, I keep that book with me. It's something so important, one of my like most important gifts that I've ever been given. And this quote from Dr. Seuss is, I've heard there are troubles of more than one kind. Some come from ahead, some come from behind. But I've bought a big bat, I'm all ready, you see. Now my troubles are going to have trouble with me. And God, I love that quote, because I feel like Dr. Seuss, like it rhymes and it's fun, and like they're great children's books, but I feel like there's a lot of wisdom in these books that can speak to us like throughout life. And I think it's just a reminder, like, hey, like, whenever I'm feeling down on myself, like, I'm still deserving. And whether we go through like relationship tests in life, financial tests, like tests in our career, whatever life throws at us, we're never going to have anything that's too big for us to handle, right? I was reading this one book from Najwa Zebian. I hope I'm saying it right. I love her books, but there's a graphic in it of this guy climbing up a mountain with a rock on his back, and he's like, I've been carrying my mountains when I should have climbed over them. And that those two quotes kind of coincide with me. I've been carrying my mountains when I should have just climbed them. And yeah, like, sometimes we feel like the weight of everything on us, and it just becomes overwhelming, and it's like, yeah, I just need a break. But like all of those little things, like, if it sticks to me, like, sometimes I want it as a tattoo, as a reminder, that, like, hey, like, we all go through shit. It doesn't make me special. It doesn't make me better than you. Like, we all go through a bunch of crap. Some of it's worse than the next person, but if we can get through it, it's going to mean that much more, right? And we can get through it. Like, we are in control of our own choices. So I think that, like, this has been like a whole personal growth journey for me, and like there's never a destination, it's an ongoing process. But all of my tattoos tell a little story for me, and it's like a little reminder. Moving on, I've also got God, you're gonna make me tell my embarrassing tattoo stories. You know what? I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. So I've got a finger tattoo, and it says BNA. And myself, Alicia Edwards, Kiera Hogan, and Giselle Shaw. I believe we all got these tattoos. I don't know. I want to say that I don't know if Giselle actually got it. It might have just been me, Alicia, and Kiera. And we got it when we were sitting in the Biltmore Millennium Hotel in Los Angeles, California. And Salem Arelis, who I think she's like the head makeup artist over at AEW now, um, we were all on a show out in Los Angeles, and she's a tattoo artist. So she brought her equipment, and we all got BNA tattoos. And why, you might ask, did we get BNA tattoos? Is because, so back in the Impact days, they're like Impact Wrestling before it was TNA again, like Moose, DJZ, Eddie Edwards, their whole little clique, right? They called themselves like ZNA. And me, Alicia, like, we were the girls, so they were like, no, like, there's not girls in this. And we're like, okay, bet, we're BNA, bitches NA. And it doesn't even mean anything. It's just a stupid tattoo. And, like, we were all so close back then. Um, so we got a little friendship tattoo. So I've still got it. I don't know if they still have theirs. But that's my BNA story. I've also got one behind my ear here. That what's funny enough is this tattoo I fell asleep getting. I got it in my living room in Orlando, Florida. One of my friends was a tattoo artist, brought his bed over like super late at night, and me, Mecha Wolf 450, and some of our friends, we all got tattoos right there in my living room. And like I remember being on my side, I fell asleep during it. It didn't hurt at all. And it's my logo, which is it's a 3 that doubles as a B, so third generation, and Blanchard. So those two kind of like double, and it's connected by a diamond. So diamonds are forever, and it's kind of homage to the Four Horsemen. And all of that comes together. And Desmond Xavier actually does, like, one of the most amazing artists he is. He designed my logo for me like years and years ago. And I decided to get it behind my ear. Why, you might ask? I don't know, but but we did that. God, that was years ago too. I think I also have a Fifth Element tattoo of all the elements here on my side, but that ended up getting covered up when I got my whole sleeve done, or my half sleeve. And I also have, you can kind of see here, I have it kind of got covered up and turned into rocks, but it's a diamond. That was my very first diamond tattoo, and inside of it, it says undeniable. And I got this after the very first All In, which now AEW has as a pay-per-view, but the very first All In Chicago, I was a part of that women's match. I won the very first AEW women's match, technically, at All In. That event was just incredible. But I remember at StarCast, I think it was right before the event, there was a tattoo booth, and they were giving out tattoos, and I got this diamond right there at the convention in front of the fans, everything, getting a tattoo done. And it was like, I don't know what I'm going to get done, but diamonds, undeniable. Undeniable, that word just sticks with me always, because I remember, and I think I've told this in a different video, but when I first started training to wrestle, I didn't tell my family, I didn't tell anyone about it. And I remember when it came to the point where I had to tell my family or I couldn't train anymore, my stepdad, my little brother, they showed up to High Spots in Charlotte, North Carolina on a Tuesday night. I was in the ring with Cedric Alexander, and God, him and I, we knew each other so well in the ring. I could wrestle Cedric with my eyes closed. That's how close we were. And I remember like seeing them come in, and I was like, Ced, let's do our thing. Let's turn it up a notch. And I remember after that, that was the first time too that they had ever seen me in a wrestling ring. And afterwards, like we hug George, we take our bumps, like the same ritual of every training. And I go up to the corner. My stepdad was like, "Well, you're not good, but you have it. You have that thing you can't teach. Now you've got to go out there and you've got to become undeniable." And that's why I use like the undeniable diamond, undeniable forever, um, because that's I think that's a good reminder for me. Every tattoo is kind of like a reminder. I think that that diamond, that undeniable, that's a reminder for me to like. There's never an exception for hard work. It doesn't matter what your name is, what your last name is, what championships you've held, where you've traveled to, like how big of a star you are. Like there's never an exception for hard work. Like I always say, the last name, it might get your foot in the door, it might get you in front of the right people, but once you step into that ring, it doesn't take the bumps for you, it doesn't drive the miles for you, it doesn't pay the bills for you. It's the training, the work ethic. It's like, all right, what can you do? So I think that that's that reminder to me, like undeniable. It's not a destination; it's an ongoing process, and every day you got to show up. Like The Rock says, like every day rent's due. So that's kind of like a reminder for me. I also have a pretty fresh tattoo, and it's down my spine. It says resilience, and then above it I've got it's kind of like this eyeball design that my friend drew, and I remember having a sit down with one of my close friends who's an artist, and they were gonna design a pair of sneakers for me, and one of the like he asked me a bunch of different questions about my life and whatnot to help like these sneakers become like very signature, very custom to Tessa. And I remember he asked me, he was like, "What 3 words would you use to describe yourself?" And the first word that came to mind was resilient. I'm like, "Yo, I am resilient AF." Like I've had a lot of crazy crap thrown at me, and that's where you make the choice, like I can let this beat me, or I can use this and grow from it and become better from it, or just come out the other side stronger, right? So yeah, I remember wanting to get the word resilient, and I never knew where. I never really knew what kind of like resilience tattoo. I saw a tattoo that someone had. It was very elegant, like right down the spine, and I loved how it looked, and I'm like, that's where I'm gonna put it. I want to go. So I live in Mexico City in Coyoacan, and there's a tattoo studio called Ah Puck Tattoo, which it's kind of funny, Ah Puck. But in Centro de Coyoacan, there's this tattoo studio, and and I went there. Same artist I go to now every time. He's phenomenal. I kind of just fall. He's got such a good hand with tattoos. I kind of just fall asleep every time. But um, I think that too. Like I'll say it. I'll sound like a broken record. Every tattoo is like a reminder to me, right? Or it tells a story, or it's something that's a significant moment in my life that I never want to forget. And like for a while there was like a lot of things that I've gone through that I'm like, God, I just want to forget this. Like, and I'll pray, like, please just like let me forget this. But now, like, I don't regret anything that I've gone through, or better yet, I don't want to forget it. I do want to remember, because I'm very proud of the woman that I am today and the mindset that I have. You know, I'm not like, I'm a work in progress just like anyone else, but I think that these little reminders are, hey, this is who you were. This is like some of the crap that you've gone through. Heck, this is some of the stuff that you've grown through. And this is who you are. And I'm so excited for who you're becoming. And so like these kind of like self-talks I have to have with myself. And I think like a significant person in my life that's helped me like achieve this mindset now is Stephanie Red Velvet. She's one of my best friends in this whole world. And we both found each other when like Brian Cage is a mutual friend of ours, and he kept telling us like, oh, you guys need to meet each other. You guys need to meet each other. And since the like day one where we met each other, that girl has just like been such a positive influence in my life. Like if I ever need to talk to someone about anything, good, bad, indifferent, like every conversation that we have, it's never about like gossips and like, oh girl, did you, no, it's like, I don't know, like her and I will read the same book and then discuss it, and I love this girl so much, but she's always like, Tessa, you are resilient. Tessa, you are strong. Tessa, you are going to beat XYZ. And we've always kind of like, since we've known each other, been there for each other in that way. So another person that's always been like, Tessa, you're resilient. Tessa, you're resilient. Tessa, you're resilient. And that word just stuck out to me. So again, wanted to get that tattooed. I have it going all the way down my spine, resilience, because I've been through a lot. I'm gonna go through a heck of a lot more, I'm sure. I'm currently going through the crazy internal battles, and a lot of my life and crap that we go through becomes public. And when something is so public, whether you're interested or not, if you just hear about it, you now get to have an opinion about it, whether it's right, wrong, indifferent. So I think it's just a reminder that no matter what people think about me, whatever I go through, and this goes for like the other side of the camera too, for all you guys, like there's nothing that you can't get through if you can change your mindset about it, right? Like just look at it differently, think about it differently, and use it as an opportunity to grow from it, right? So I'm resilient, you're resilient, we're all resilient. But thank you guys for listening to all my tattoo stories. I'm sure after I finish this sign off that Chase is going to have another one for me that I forgot about. But thank you guys. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. Leave in the comments what your favorite tattoo story was, or maybe you have one of your own that you'd like to share with me, and I can't wait to read it. Thank you guys for listening. Until next time.